kids and silly trends. The internet's our candy land. Memes so sweet they make us squeal. We just wanna hold their hand. Funny fails and cat attacks. Alarm our world, it never lacks. Human meme, your sugar fix. Let's unpack this crazy mix. Meme machine, it's blowing up. Laughter overload. Fill up your cup. Trends and challenges, the sweetest beat. Human meme podcast is where to be. Dancing memes and pranks are dreams. Nothing ever what it seems. Viral pets so fluffy, cute. Mounts our brains, absolute. Silly filters, mega trends. Cuteness overload never ends. Human memes, your sugar spree. Where the fun is always free. Meme machine, it's blowing up. Laughter overload. Fill up your cup. Trends and challenges, the sweetest beat. Human meme podcast is where to be. Join the party, spread the cheer. Meme explorers, we are here, digging for the sweetest gold. Stories that make us feel bold. Meme machine, it's blowing up. Laughter overload. Fill up your cup. Trends and challenges, the sweetest beat. Human meme podcast is where to be.
Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm your host, AI David Bowles, and along with our crackpot AI research team, we have this idea to share with you today. From Omens to Godwinks, tracing 1,000 years of divine signs across cultures and history. You know, the concept of a Godwink is really quite fascinating when you delve into it. At its core, a Godwink is one of those moments that feels like more than just a coincidence. It's as if the universe, or a higher power, is giving you a little nudge or a wink to let you know you're on the right path, or to provide guidance when you need it most. While the term itself is relatively new, coined by Squire Rushnell in his 2002 book, When God Winks, the idea of receiving signs or messages from a divine source is something that has been part of human experience for millennia. Let's think on back about 1,000 years to medieval Europe, around 1000 AD. During this time, life was heavily influenced by religion, specifically Christianity. People often interpreted unusual events or natural phenomena as signs from God. For instance, if a comet appeared in the sky or there was an eclipse, it wasn't just an astronomical event, it was seen as a portent. Perhaps it was a warning of impending doom, a sign to repent, or a message that significant change was coming. The belief was that God was actively involved in the world and communicated through these signs. But this inclination to find meaning in events wasn't unique to Europe. Across the globe, various cultures had their own ways of interpreting signs from the divine or the universe. Indigenous cultures, for example, have rich traditions in this regard. Native American tribes often saw animals as messengers. If a particular animal crossed your path, it wasn't merely by chance. It carried significance. A wolf might symbolize guidance and intuition, while an eagle could represent courage and vision. In Chinese culture, there's a concept that aligns closely with this idea, rooted in Taoism and the philosophy of interconnectedness. The Taoist belief system emphasizes that everything in the universe is connected, and events are not just random but part of a larger, harmonious flow. So when things happen that seem coincidental, they might actually be in alignment with the Tao, the fundamental principle that underlies and unifies the universe. As societies evolved, so did the ways people interpreted these signs. During the Renaissance period, roughly from the 14th to the 17th century, there was a significant shift. The Renaissance ushered in a renewed interest in humanism and the potential of human beings. People began to focus more on human experience and less on the divine as the primary explanation for events. This doesn't mean they abandoned belief in God or divine signs altogether, but there was a growing emphasis on human agency and empirical observation. Then came the Enlightenment in the 18th century, which further propelled the emphasis on reason, logic, and scientific evidence. Skepticism toward supernatural explanations grew stronger. People started to question long-held beliefs and sought explanations that could be observed, tested, and proven. The idea of divine intervention in daily life became less prevalent among intellectuals and the educated classes, although it still held sway among the general populace. Despite these shifts, the human desire to find meaning didn't wane. In the 19th and 20th centuries, even as secularism and scientific thought gained prominence, new ways of interpreting meaningful coincidences emerged. Psychologist Carl Jung introduced the concept of synchronicity, which he described as meaningful coincidences that have no apparent causal connection yet seem to be meaningfully related. This provided a framework for people to understand these experiences without necessarily invoking a deity. Fast forward to the modern era, and we find ourselves in a world where spirituality is often personalized. Many people may not identify with organized religion, but they still hold beliefs in a higher power, or the interconnectedness of all things. The term Godwink fits neatly into this contemporary context. It's a way for individuals to acknowledge moments of synchronicity or meaningful coincidence as potentially guided by a higher force, without the need for formal religious structures. Let's consider some examples to illustrate how this concept has played out over time. Take Joan of Arc in the 15th century. She was a young French peasant girl who claimed to have received visions and messages from saints instructing her to support Charles VII and help drive the English from France during the 100 Years' War. Joan's convictions were so strong that she persuaded the Dauphin and led French troops to several important victories. At that time, her claims of divine guidance were taken seriously by many, though not without skepticism. Her story demonstrates how, in that historical context, personal experiences interpreted as divine messages could have profound societal impacts. Another historical practice is the use of the I Ching in China, which dates back thousands of years. The I Ching, or Book of Changes, is an ancient divination text used to interpret events and guide decisions. People would consult it by casting coins or yarrow sticks, and the resulting patterns would be interpreted as guidance from the universe. This method embodies the idea of seeking meaning in randomness, much like modern interpretations of Godwinks. In our contemporary world, imagine someone contemplating a major life change, like starting a new career or moving to a different country. They might be feeling uncertain and perhaps even ask for a sign to help them decide. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, they start encountering references to that new career path or destination city in conversations on social media or through random encounters. They might interpret these coincidences as Godwinks, taking them as affirmations that they're on the right track. Over the last 1,000 years, what we see is not so much a change in the fundamental human desire to find meaning and guidance, but rather a shift in the frameworks we use to interpret these experiences. In medieval times, the explanations were primarily rooted in religious doctrine and the authority of the Church. As time progressed, new philosophies and scientific understandings provided alternative ways to interpret the world, yet they didn't eliminate the human inclination to seek out and find meaning in our experiences. Today, the idea of a Godwink reflects a blending of old and new, a recognition that while we live in a world where science and technology explain much, there's still room for the mysterious and the meaningful coincidences that touch our lives. It's a way for people to connect with something greater than themselves, whether they call it God, the universe, fate, or simply the interconnectedness of all things. In essence, the genesis of a Godwink is deeply rooted in our shared human history. It's a testament to our enduring quest to understand our place in the world and to find comfort and guidance in the signs we perceive around us. Whether through ancient practices like interpreting omens and consulting oracles, or modern experiences of synchronicity and personal signs, the underlying thread is the same: a profound desire to feel connected to a greater purpose or plan. So, while the terminology and the cultural contexts may have evolved over the centuries, the essence of what a Godwink represents remains consistent. It's about recognizing and embracing those moments that resonate with us on a deeper level, prompting reflection, providing reassurance, or guiding our choices. It's a beautiful reminder of the timeless human footfalls toward meaning and connection. For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a pleasant evening and a better tomorrow. Be a human meme.
Oh yeah, viral vids and silly trends. The internet's our Candyland. Memes so sweet they make us squeal. We just wanna hold their hand. Funny fails and cat attacks. Alarm our world, it never lacks. Human meme, your sugar fix. Let's unpack this crazy mix. Meme machine, it's blowing up laughter overload. Fill up your cup. Trends and challenges, the sweetest beat. Human meme podcast is where to be. Dancing memes and pranks are dreams. Laughing never what it seems. Viral pets so fluffy, cute. Mounts our brains, absolute. Silly filters, mega trends. Shooting us over long reference. Human memes, your sugar spree. Where the fun is always free. Meme machine, it's blowing up laughter overload. Fill up your cup. Trends and challenges, the sweetest beat. Human meme podcast is where to be. Join the party, spread the cheer. Meme explorers, we are here, digging for the sweetest gold. Stories that make us feel bold. Meme machine, it's blowing